Good morning, Ellensburg. This is Trish Subert Buswell, and this morning I am joined by Obi O'Brien. And I just want to say good morning. We're here on University Way in Ellensburg, live on ECTV Community Channel 2. And once again, we're going to bring you a fabulous Ellensburg Rodeo Parade.
And I got to tell you that one of the things we're looking forward to is all of the guests that we have. We have guest royalty from all over the state and from other states. For just everywhere, we seem to have a lot of royalty. Every year we seem to have more. It's almost like this year we have more royalty than horses. And for the Horsiest Parade, it is kind of a surprise. We also have some very special guests, and I'm going to invite them to come join us. And they are from our sister city in this Sonda City, and they're going to come up. We're going to say hi. We had a delegation that went to Sonda City earlier, and they were the Ellensburg Blue Rocks. They were playing baseball. Their hats.
They did. The Japanese team.
The Japanese team was excellent. So glad that you're here.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Konnichiwa. And I met these lovely ladies a little earlier, and I cannot sit. Hello.
So welcome to Ellensburg. Is this your first rodeo?
Thank you.
I know that you three went to the rodeo last night. Did you all go to the rodeo together?
Yes.
Did what was your favorite event at the rodeo? What did you like most about rodeo?
I like the opening ceremony.
The big grand entry.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very big.
Yes.
Yeah, it's lots of fun. Yeah, earlier we were talking, and the lady said that the biggest issue was it was so cold because of the wind. It was pretty harsh. Hang on. Excuse me. Do not walk.
We like to call it a breeze here in Ellensburg. It was just a little breezy.
It's in Ellensburg, it's not a wind until it's 25 miles an hour. All right, before that, it's just a breeze. Yeah. So anyhow, and your names?
My name is Rika Katake. I'm Kyoko Lee.
Shinou Nakamura.
Miyako Nishida. Kuniko Kasebe. Fumiko Yamazaki.
Thank you. It's so nice to have you here. I really am appreciative. I know that we have had the relationship between Kittitas County and Sonda City for a lot of years. It's been very beneficial, very fun for both of us, and we always come back and forth. I picked up the runners for the marathon at the airport just a few weeks back during the our big triathlon, and it was nice to see them. They were very committed to their race. They were really strong. So what do you guys do other than come visit us? What is your favorite thing to do elsewhere? What do you do?
You mean exchange between?
No, just you personally.
Personally?
Yeah.
Do you travel? Do you travel other places besides coming to the United States? Have you traveled other countries?
Yes.
Yes.
What other countries have you gone to?
Personally?
Yeah.
Many places, such as Turkey, Thailand, Singapore.
Wow, very good. Very well traveled. That's fun.
Well, I love your shirt. Excellent shopping.
Yes.
I love your shirt. Yes.
I received from a host family.
Oh, very good.
Present.
Yes.
Very nice.
Very nice. Yes. So will you go to the rodeo today as well?
Just watch parade.
Just the parade today. Oh, good. Well, we'll do our best to make it a fun day for you to enjoy.
Thank you. And so what do you like best about Kittitas County and the town of Ellensburg? Anything that stands out so far?
I think the people are very kind and friendly.
Well, it is very easy and pleasurable to be kind and pleasant with you because you are wonderful, warm people. Thank you very much for being here. It is my honor, and I would appreciate you coming by. It's a great honor and welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you. Okay. Well, you have a good day. Enjoy the parade. And remember, don't run out into the street to get the candy.
They'll throw it. They'll
bring it to you. Yes. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Thank you.
Well, that was a real treat. It's not often that we get to have the Sister City delegation come and visit during rodeo weekend. That was very nice. Thank you, Obi.
You're welcome. One of the advantages of being an elected official is I get to meet lots of fun people and I get to represent the county. And it's fun. I like doing that part. And it's one of the things that really is a hidden pleasure that I really didn't know going into the election stuff.
Right.
Much like your mom when she was the county commissioner.
Yeah.
So it has been working out real well.
Well, I'll tell you what, we are a few minutes away from the actual start of the parade, and the streets are starting to fill up. Gosh, we are so lucky, 2 years in a row. Lots of sun, and hopefully I'll be taking this coat off in a few minutes.
I already took mine off because last night I didn't have it. It was very cold.
It was a little breezy, like I said last night. It only hit 21 miles an hour.
That's all. Well, just breezy.
Yep.
Yep.
But it was a great show. We have a new specialty act, the Chuck Wagon races this year.
Yep, that was
And-
entertaining, especially when the one wagon blew the axle off.
It was, and he kept going. He almost won.
He almost won. The thing that I found surprising last night's performance was that the Bulls were winning so much that at one point a 51 score looked like it was going to be the round winner, and as
Right.
it happened, it was second in their money race.
Well, and I forget the gentleman's name, the cowboy that went last, and he scored a 57, and they said, do you want a re-ride? And he said yes, and he took the re-ride and got bucked off, and he would have held with a 57.
He would have helped, and he would have won.
But you just don't, I mean, that's so unlikely that you'll have a 57 and a 51 as the top scorers. But I will say this, Justin McKee, the announcer, started talking, and as usual, everybody's filing in and doing their thing and chatting, and then all of a sudden it was just complete silence in the arena, and everyone was listening to Justin talk, and I thought that was really, well, very respectful, but I thought it was really fabulous that he could command such an audience that people would stop and listen to what he had to say. And what he had to say was, you know, this community is such a fabulous community that it came together in such a big way with the fires that just happened recently, and how everyone was doing something to help, whether it was contributing money or food or clothing and whatnot, and the food bank was full, the warehouses were full, and on top of that, they've had requests that, you know, just send money specific for the Taylor Bridge fire. And I had friends out in Washington, D.C. that saw my postings on Facebook, and they sent money. So
I know we had postings, and we had money and contributions from all over. I know we've had people who have come and donated from Twist.
Oh, really?
There sent down 15 ton of hay. And I know we had people from other rodeos and other events in Moses Lake and Grant County. They sent over a bunch of donations because their rodeo was over.
Right.
They sent it to aid the other. At the Animal Evac Center, which is the fairgrounds, where we had over 450 animals. We had cows, horses, of course. We also had a lot of pigs.
And the dogs, and I heard all the dogs found their owners.
Dogs all did well. Dogs. We didn't have very many cats. We did have a lot of pigs, pot-bellied pigs, and the camels, or they're the llamas, the littlest llamas.
Okay, we already did mic check, so we're good.
Okay. Yes. And, you know, right now, it's just Obi and myself, and we're going to be joined in a minute by our other co-host, Liz Shenier, who's also past rodeo royalty. And part of the reason Liz was a few minutes late is she is working in the open horse barns.
I am.
And she had to go down and work this morning and be down on the fairgrounds. And I was talking with her earlier this week, and she said that you were down on the fairgrounds helping with all the livestock that was displaced and without a home, and helping everybody, because you're a vet tech now.
I am. Yes. I am a licensed technician, and knock on wood, it was really, really nice to see that not a lot of animals ended up in our clinic. So, and across the board too. I mean, there weren't a lot of, seriously burned animals and things like that. So it was really nice to see that we just, we took in a lot of boarding animals for those who, had to be evacuated and stuff. But other than that, we were really lucky to have, the support and everything. So.
Well, I thought it was watching from afar, and I was just so grateful that I could get so much information on Facebook, and then I could follow the Kittitas County scanner on my laptop at home, and my daughter says, "What is that noise?"
I have it on my phone, so don't worry.
Yes, I have to know where the fire is. But it was really nice to feel that close to the community, even though I was so far away. And I was explaining to my friends out there, who a lot of them live in the city and the suburbs, and I said, no, it's really important. You open the gates, you let the animals out, the animals will get picked up, they'll be taken to a place where it's safe. And I said, the people are fine, they can get out of their house, they just have stuff, but it was the livestock that was so important.
Oh, definitely.
And some of the times that the people had to move so fast that in some cases they could not get their animals.
Right.
One lady had about 10 sheep. She had to leave right away. She was real concerned. A couple days later, she had escort back in and was able to check on the sheep. And there they all were, lined up against the fence, saying, "Hi, Mama. We're fine. Glad to see you."
Yep.
And they were all pink.
And last
They'd
night
been hit with a fire bomber.
Oh.
The retardant nailed them.
Well, last night the show was dedicated to the people in charge of fighting the fire here, and everybody was there except for the main gentleman that was in charge of everything, and he was off fighting the Weenass fire.
Yep.
Right. The Weenass fire kicked up yesterday afternoon, and during our rodeo performance, I got the update. 960 acres were already coming up. The fire bombers, the fire helicopters, and all the rest of that were already in place. They had people on the lines, and they had it 30% contained during our rodeo time, and it only started that afternoon.
Well, you could see it.
Yeah, you could see the smoke, but we have got outstanding responders. The thing that the incident command people noted about this fire was that, first off, the local volunteers, the local volunteer firefighters that got on the line starting at 1:30 on Monday afternoon and didn't get off until Tuesday evening. That's when their first real break. They did such a job of protecting structures, keeping people out of the way so that we had no people seriously hurt. We had one firefighter got a little too aggressive in trying to protect a structure, so he got a little bit of a face like first degree and a little uncomfortable, like super sunburn. But other than that, there really wasn't any injuries, and that is only praise to God for taking care of our people who are trying to take care of us. So again, we want to say thank you to all the firefighters and all the volunteers. When we had at the fairgrounds at the Animal Evac Center, as the county commissioners, we said, well, we will appoint the fairgrounds as our event center. We didn't ever plan for having that many animals. And the local vets stepped up, took over, and just kind of said, you go here, you go there, put an animal, put a number on the butt of the horse as it came in, wrote down who's that one belonged to, had everything organized. The volunteers came from everywhere. We had people who were cleaning stalls. That's not a glorious way to spend a week, but that's what they were doing. Feeding and watering first thing before they went off to do their regular jobs. They had just so much help.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I was saying about the community, and it was so great to be able to show the people that I see where I live how great a community I come from.
Oh yeah.
And they fully understood why not only do I come home for a little over a week at rodeo time, but I come home in June and I come home over Thanksgiving, and my daughter's got just as many friends here as she does out in Virginia.
Yeah.
So, but I do have a funny story. So there are some really great real estate agents here, and if I lived in Ellensburg, I would use any number of my friends as real estate agents. My real estate agent, who just sold us a house in Virginia, came out here and went to the rodeo with us last night.
Oh, very neat.
How great is that? What agent, Lisa, good friend, will go the extra mile to do that? So
or 2,000.
Shout out 2,000.
Yeah, or 2,000 extras.
So they're here in Ellensburg enjoying the rodeo and the parade, and I think it's great. We always enjoy bringing some friends.
Oh, definitely.
And one of the things that is interesting about the volunteerism, it is not only in a big event, but it's all the small events. If you talk in the Jasna Valley, you talk the Dachshunds on the Parade, you talk all the things that happen, whether it's the upper coal miner days in Upper County. But then we have the local dignitaries like Miss Subert Buswell here. We were talking before we came on camera that this is your 23rd year, 24th year, something like that?
24th year, yeah. Wow.
I tried to do the math, and I think this is my 20th year. I started in the cameras and then kind of moved in front. But the one so far that has the cake is the engineer that no one ever sees. His name's Steve Douglas. He's engineer on this. This is his 32nd year of being a part of this parade.
Did they even have color back then?
Actually, yes, they did. But I can tell you, the cameras that you now have, you can pick up, put on your shoulder, you can carry all day. The cameras they had back then were so huge that you sometimes took two of you to set it on the tripod so that you would make sure you didn't drop it.
Yeah, they were very big.
Yeah.
They were very big. When I started in television, well, back in the, actually it was in the mid-70s, the cameras that we used would have to be put on and warmed up for an hour to an hour and a half before you could start doing all the little tweaks and adjustments to make them look right. So it's an amazing thing. The differences between 32 years ago and now is just a stunning difference.
Well, and ECTV has really come along, and they do more than just a few shows here and there. They're doing all the sports, right? They do local sports. They do the community meetings.
It's called Ellensburg Community Television, and they cover the community. They cover more than just the town of Ellensburg. They do things like if you have your grandparents living in Kittitas, they can watch the high school graduation on Channel 2. Yeah, anywhere where the cable system goes, they have that. And the thing that's cool about Ellensburg Community Television is that anybody that's on their system can be a community producer. That means you get trained for no charge, use the equipment for no charge, you get help editing for no charge, and you can put those issues on television that are important to you. There are no controls, right? First Amendment rights, you get to put things on.
I have an issue. I can't watch the Washington Huskies tonight on TV. I'm very bitter about that.
That's very bitter. Well, you can watch those semi-pro Washington
I'm sure
Huskies.
they'll still win, but still.
Or you can watch the pros at the rodeo.
Oh, there we go. Oh my goodness. I have to say I'm very excited about today's show.
Yeah.
There are some big time names up in the performance, and then after that it's the Extreme Bowls, and it's the championship finals for Extreme Bowls tonight.
National finals,
yes.
yeah, and it is a great event. Well, I think one of the things that we need to be reminded of is we have a bunch of prima donnas that play baseball and some that play football, but when it comes to a rodeo athlete, if they don't win, they don't get paid.
That's right.
Yeah.
They pay their own money out of pocket to get here and to drive their diesel trucks with hauling their animals from one end of the country to the other to get the privilege to participate to see if they can make a living.
And one of the nice things is people in the community, like Scott and Joe Rep, open their West Star Ranch, and over half the cowboys are camped out there with their RVs, and they've got a place for their horses. And in turn, Scott put on that great show on Wednesday, the Pro-Am and the Open.
Yep,
right. So that's just been a little added bonus here in Ellensburg.
Yeah, it's been a fun event to go to. So I know as Royalty we went, and it was a lot of fun.
So we're just incredibly lucky to be from such a wonderful place. And we've got the best seat in the house today, other than everybody at home watching us this morning, because we'll get to see every single event and participant coming down the street. And I think they're getting ready to start, hopefully pretty soon.
Yeah.
It's about 9:30 here.
The minor inconvenience is, yes, we get to be right here, right next to them, but they're behind us.
Right.
That is true.
We get to go like, hi, and they go on by. So there's somewhat of an inconvenience.
It's a little scary sometimes too, because they come up behind us before we're ready.
Yes, but this is where if we watch the camera, we can see sometimes a little warning, see them coming.
Right.
But if they have one of those shots, like, looking at the crowd, we don't have much of a chance if the posse sneaks up behind us or the chamber cowboys. Those guys are vicious.
Yeah, they are, but this is what makes live TV so much fun.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. And for those of us who have been doing it for a long time. Now, Liz, how many years have you been, and I know you started in the whole rodeo thing when you were just like barely walking.
Oh yes.
But this is like your 4th or 5th time announcing with us? I don't remember.
No, it's like it's something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Time goes. Time goes by when you're having fun.
Amazing.
Yeah. And if you want to have fun, make sure you make it out to the rodeo. It is amazing performance. These athletes, I don't know what the lifespan is for a professional rodeo athlete, but they had one guy that they said he was as old as anybody, had anyone performing, and I think he said he was like 35 years old.
Oh, well, the bareback rider last night was 44.
44,
Right.
that's what it is.
There was a 35-year-old
Saddle bronc rider, I think.
Yeah. And the ropers can keep going for quite some time. I know that a former local resident, Brad Goodrich, is up on Sunday roping, and he's in his mid-40s.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few. I mean, the O'Briens and Clay O'Brien Cooper and Jake Barnes, they've been roping for years and years and years. Yeah. You can stretch your career out, but you know what? They lift weights. They train. They have they do they get massages. They take their bodies are finely tuned, just like any football player or basketball player. It's just that it's out of pocket.
Oh yeah. People wouldn't realize that a lot of those, they are athletes, even though they, people would say, oh, riding horses isn't a sport. Oh, it very much is.
Well, you look at the pickup men. I mean, last year, our good friend Gary Rempel turned 60, and you wouldn't know it to see him out there. He's rock solid. The Cowboys come up on him on their bucking horses, and he pulls them right off. And we actually saw him down in San Antonio this year. We went down for the rodeo down there, my husband and daughter and I. And he's working 2 shows a day there.
Oh wow!
Right, and he goes through 5 or 6 horses a day. But the pickup men are out there, and I mean that's a long time to have a career like that.
That is.
So you have to take care of yourself.
I want to get back to one other volunteer that donates a lot of stuff. And as you can see, my little fancy coffee cup right there, you can't read it. It says Yellow Church Cafe. The Yellow Church Cafe, owned by Gordy and Kat Wollum, have been donating coffee and some sweet rolls for at least 10 years. To kind of get the crew going in the morning, a little vitamin C coffee. There's some people that think that comes from somewhere else, but I know vitamin C comes from coffee. And so, but it's very beneficial to all of us to know that we got something going. And I can see now on the television that here comes Ellensburg's motorcade. There are 2 motorcycle cops that belong to the Ellensburg
141st Air Refueling Wing Honor Guard.
That's right after the guys right there on the motorcycles.
Yep.
And Ellensburg actually is pretty frugal. Those motorcycles were actually obtained from surplus in that the Seattle PD didn't need them anymore, and so Ellensburg went and picked them up. So we don't waste much money on this side of the state. We make sure everything's used all the way up before we get rid of it.
Well, and they always kick off the parade.
They do.
So
they do.
We are very happy to see them coming down the street because I think this is going to be a fabulous parade.
I think so too.
And I always enjoy seeing the parade with the lights and flashing and all that in the parade, not behind me when I'm driving.
Right.
And so it's much better. Much better to see them there.
There they are. Welcome to the annual Ellensburg Rodeo Parade. Well, like we've already said, we're ECTV Channel 2 here in Ellensburg. And it's a live feed, so if you're watching this a few weeks from now,
you'll know that you
missed out.
Yeah, you missed the parade. If you're watching it on replay, do not go to the fairgrounds. It won't be the same.
Exactly. But a very, very happy, sunny, good morning to everybody that is joining us from their homes, and we hope that you enjoy our version this morning of the Ellensburg Rodeo Parade. And you can see coming down University Way in front of Central Washington University, the start with the Honor Guard and the Chief of the Yakima Indians. And if you haven't been, and I can't imagine there's anybody in Ellensburg that hasn't been to the rodeo, you will see at the beginning of each show the Yakima Indians out in the middle of the arena, and they do their traditional native dances. And then at the end of that, the crowd is invited to come out and dance with them. And my daughter has really warmed up to it now, where she likes to go out and shake the hands.
Oh, very cool.
So it's really, really
it is fun
and interact with them.
And when you're at the fair, do not miss the opportunity to go visit the Indians in the traditional village, see the teepees and how they lived when they were camped out long before the white man got here. But the fueling wing is 101st Air Wing, Air National Guard is the oldest military aviation unit in Washington. That is just amazing. And we've already
And a little bit of out of order already. Here come
Of
the
course.
Ellensburg Rodeo directors, being led by President Kelly Scheidemann and Vice President Gene Dana, who's also your county sheriff.
He is, yes.
And then some of the members, I want to recognize Rick Cole, who's the longest serving member. He started in '83.
Oh, wow.
And they're doing pretty good. Some of them are riding this morning. Bill Lau was up at 4 a.m. at the arena. And there's Mr. Sheldon himself. Yeah.
He is actually the royalty director for this year.
So you know him really well.
I do, yes.
So I saw Brett Hubert. He was down working on the grounds this morning, so he's not riding.
Yeah.
And then here come one of our favorite Liz, right?
Yes.
Ellensburg Rodeo Posse. They're a little quiet this morning.
They are. I think we need to pep them up.
The Saturday, I'm sorry.
And the
I wanna
top
go back.
hands.
Oh, yeah, and the top
Yeah.
hands. I want to go back and say that today's performance is dedicated to one of the Ellensburg Rodeo directors, longtime serving director Ken Peterson.
Oh, very cool.
And as the you'll see the empty seat, there's actually 4 riderless horses this year, in that they have lost 4 of their members. Don Bowman and Mike
Bob
King,
Holton.
Bob Holton, and Gerald Thomas are 4 long-term posse members that have gone off to another great roundup.
Right. And also coming behind them, there's everybody this morning.
There's some more of the yellow. This is the bright yellow shirts you cannot miss
I see.
anywhere.
The rowdy ones are in the back. There we go. Herbie coming up in the end there. And then behind every good set of horses, you've got some Cooper Scoopers, and then you've got the pretty girls coming up. Exactly. We are so happy to have our Ellensburg Rodeo World Court here. Queen Avery Wheeler, Princess Jessie Rodarius, and Princess Carly Jo Jensen.
Yeah.
And they've got their fire red and orange uniforms on today.
Yes.
And all their jewelry that they're wearing is done by a local artist here, Lynn Sullivan with Cowgirl Divas. And did you wear Cowgirl Divas when you were?
I did. I contacted Lynn, and we had blue and orange my year.
Yes.
So she hooked Chelsea and I up with a really beautiful, and I'm not wearing it today, but really beautiful set of earrings and necklace.
Well, and she does custom design, so everything I wear from her is all custom.
Very cool.
They don't do man jewelry yet.
That's okay.
It's probably coming down the pipeline.
I'm not really going to go there. That's not my style.
Everybody needs a little bit of bling, even
Just a little bit.
Well, I have my rodeo button. That's my bling.
Oh, great.
And my buckle.
That just assured him not going into the little jail. We might be in trouble.
Yeah, we are in trouble.
But the Royal Court's trailer is courtesy of the Left Trailer Sales. And Left Trailer Sales has a really big display down there. So it's kind of nice of them to donate that every year to that.
A big thank you to A1 Petroleum, too, because they donate all of our gas.
That's right.
So for us to go places, we wouldn't be able to go anywhere without them. So it's a big
There's our
thank you.
Grand Marshal. And prior to that, just went by with the King County Mounted Sheriff's Posse that set the pendants every year.
And that's a part of the switching thing. Sometimes, like you'll see right behind us is the King County Posse. The camera can look in different parts of the parade that we can see. So sometimes we get just a little out of sync, but we'll do our best to keep up here.
There we go. There's our Grand Marshal, John Foster. And he was a photographer for the Ellensburg Daily Record and a professor at Central and a longtime rodeo director. I grew up seeing Mr. Foster take pictures, and he was always out in the arena, and he was inducted into the Ellensburg Rodeo Hall of Fame in 2005, and his pictures have been recognized in the Smithsonian National Portrait Gallery, as well as Sports Illustrated, Time and Life magazine.
My goodness.
A little old thing called the Britannica Encyclopedias.
That's pretty good
There
press.
we go, yeah.
And they're followed, you can see now we have the Kittitas County Honorary Family. That's the Kelleher family this year. Every year they pick a local family that has contributed a lot. Kellehers have been here for so long.
1905?
1905 is when the
Jack Kelleher.
Jack Kelleher started the Ford dealership.
Right.
It is one of the very oldest dealerships, certainly in the Washington.
Well, in the
and
nation, actually.
It's one of the oldest in the nation. It's the oldest in the West Coast, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, definitely. And you know, in 1950, he handed it over to his son, and then when he passed away in 1985, his wife Colleen took it over, and now it's being run by their youngest son, Phil Kelleher.
But I think Colleen still has a hand in
Oh, she
it.
does. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she
So
still
does
has
the
a
oldest
hand.
son, Jack. But
Yeah.
Phil came home a couple years ago and started running it.
Yeah, every little bit helps.
so we are completely out of order today.
Yes.
I
As you
apologize.
see, we're all flipping through our pages trying to figure out what is going on here. But that's okay.
I will say, here comes some fun ladies.
Oh,
There's Chloe
yeah.
Weidenbach, and she is,
Right.
she has a riderless horse as well in honor
For
of her
Eldon.
husband, Eldon, who
Yes.
passed away earlier this year.
Yeah. I saw the line that said Memorial Horse. It took me a minute to read through it and see what that
I
was.
tell you what, Ellensburg lost some great cowboys this year.
Absolutely, absolutely. Followed by them is the Central Washington University presence in the parade. Got Wellington walking along there.
I like Wellington.
President Jim Godino, he's the president of CW. Katie Godino, his lovely wife.
There he is.
And they're joining them in the carriage is Jack Bishop. He's the athletic director. Have done a great job with athletics between national press with the softball team, the football team, basketball has always been big.
Look at Wellington and his cowboy boots.
I think
Does
Wellington,
that cat know how to dress? And he's
I
got,
think grew out of his genes though, didn't he?
yeah,
Just a little bit.
Well, you know, workout will do that for you.
He's a pretty tough cat. That one. Wellington works hard.
I like that. I think he's put on some muscle this year too.
Yeah. So
Here
next
comes a friend of ours,
Yeah.
Dr. Ken McCrae. He was one of the two inducted into the Ellensburg Rodeo Hall of Fame this year. Dr. McCrae was a longtime Ellensburg Rodeo director as well as a veterinarian here in the community. And he and Trevor Brazil, a multi-time year world champion. And Trevor's competing this year. I think Ken's just watching the rodeo and enjoying. He used to rope. He used to steer wrestle or steer rope. So
You got to be a
huge honor for Ken McCrae.
yeah. You got to keep moving.
That's right.
And the Kittitas County Fair Board, and I got to tell you, I was watching these folks. They've been working hard. They've been working very hard, and they are very quick to just adjust to changes. Yes, Thursday when we opened the fair, I was there to raise the flag, and the person that was supposed to be there with me wasn't available. So I grabbed the board director and going, okay, you. And so we were able to run up the fair and run up the rodeo flag. I'm trying to do too much at once.
Yep.
Anyways, get it all done. It was great fun.
My mom is a fair board director, so yep, my nickname's Blondie. So if you hear Blondie, that's me.
That's the beauty of being in a small town.
Yep.
That's
Next
it.
year, we'll introduce you as Blondie Shinger.
There we go. More people would probably know. Oh, I know her.
This is the Ellensburg, our alma mater.
Ellensburg. That's a Kittitas County Farm Family of the Year, Bill and Bernie Haberman.
Did you hear them yelling smack to me? They're all cougars. See that? Bill Haberman is well into his late 70s, and he and his son are yelling, "Go Cougs" to me.
We can also hear the Ellensburg High School Band led by music director Don May. And they are always good. Let's take a moment and listen. Well, we won't listen. There they go.
This will pump the crowd up.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's
Wake
fun.
them up if they're not awake yet.
I got to tell you, when I was in high school, I marched in the band, and that was on the direct suggestion of the basketball coach. I tried out for the basketball. He said join the band. But the marching in a parade is not easy. It's
I know they
just not
practice
easy.
for hours.
And if you've been here in town, you've heard them walking around and practicing and all that.
Oh, yeah. Here
You've got
come the cheerleaders.
yeah.
Moon Pie.
Yep.
Bulldogs. You didn't have a name when I went there.
Right. I know. I don't remember a name either. That's new.
I never heard of that one either.
Yeah.
But recently there's been a national debate as to whether cheerleading is actually a sport. And
Ask
as
my
hard as those
sister.
gals work, I'm pretty sure they're athletes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I think it's probably.
I think
it's
it
right
certainly
up there.
should be a sport. They work hard. And they also practice hours and hours and get the routines down. So it's good to see them in the parade and being a part of it.
I think they're coming for you, Obi.
You know, when I was doing my first campaign parade, Paul Jewell said, you know, don't worry about it. Just smile and wave. You'll never hear the shot. It's very encouraging, that one. But just to mention that there's so many people that are in the parade this year that are campaigning. They are trying to get your vote because, like me, they want to participate in the process. They want to be your representative. They want to hear from you. And so if you have questions of any of these candidates, talk to them.
Well, and the really smart candidates carry candy.
Yes. Hopefully not the ones in your pocket that get all squishy.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a new entry coming up, the Ellensburg
Distinguished Young Women, of Ellensburg. So it's a non-profit scholarship program for college-bound high school girls. The winner this year is Kelsey. I'm going to Mazzoni. Okay, that's what I was writing today with the first runner-up. Oh my, Erin McVeigh. Sorry if I say that wrong, dear.
McVeigh, Erin McVeigh.
Okay, and then the second runner-up is Tabitha Zimney.
Yeah, you got it.
There we go. Third time's a charm, right? I'm horrible with names.
That's okay. At least you don't have to drive a car that has two fronts.
That's right, and that's what's coming up. The
Coming up
Chamber
is
Cowboys.
the famous Chamber Cowboys two-headed car. And they host a community breakfast every 2 years before the kickoff of this parade. Now they're involved in a lot of stuff. They're out there year in and year out trying to promote Ellensburg, the business community. These are made up of local business owners and leaders that are here doing their part. Now the next thing you see on screen is the Ellensburg sponsor flags. And I think both of you ladies are real familiar with those, aren't you?
Oh yeah. That's before I was royalty, I carried a sponsor flag, and actually my sister, it's a family thing for rodeo because my sister's carrying a flag this year.
Do you know which one she has?
Let's see. I know in the rodeo she has Anderson Hay and Grain and Washington Tractor. And then for this one, I believe she has Puget Sound Energy, but don't quote me.
Well, and the thing that's impressive about the sponsor flags, if you haven't really paid much attention in the rodeo, the gals come flying in on very large horses, full blast, with one hand, holding a flag with the other.
Yep.
And the flag is not a cute little wave-it flag. These are like
They're
3 foot by
heavy.
4 foot.
They're very
heavy. And as we mentioned before, there's usually a breeze in Ellensburg. So
Just a small one.
Just a small
Not a
breeze.
big deal.
Yeah. So you have to hang on. You have to be tough to
very.
be a sponsor flag bearer.
That's right.
And
they donate their time. They practice. They have to try out every year.
Yeah. And then the other thing, for those of you who don't have horses, there is no such thing as a free horse.
No.
No such thing as an inexpensive horse. So these folks that donate not only their own time, but they donate the horses. It is a major commitment to whether it's the posse, the top hands, the sponsors, all of that is just huge.
And it's grown too because every year there's a couple new sponsors. There's local sponsors, there's national sponsors, and last night I noticed they did a national sponsor, and then they did another run with just the local sponsors.
Oh yeah.
So,
Liz, how many horses do you have?
Too darn many.
That is
Between my parents and I, we have 14. Some of them are old race horses and stuff that are just retired now and having the good life, but I do have a couple show horses still, so that are still up and running. But
I just shipped my saddle back. We're gonna put my saddle on a saddle stand in our house.
there you go.
Where I live, it's all dressage and jumping, and I have to drive an hour away to find Western riding for Piper.
Oh really?
I don't need to jump on him.
Yeah.
No, I think Virginia doesn't understand what a cowboy hat is.
No. You have to go way out. A couple years ago, I think Miss Rodeo Virginia came, and she lived about an hour and a half from me, and that was about as close into the Washington district that you could be that had Western riding. So, but there's a big contingent of 4-H out there. You just have to go south down to more of the area like this in Virginia. So.
And if you had an opportunity to go to the 4-H livestock show and sale yesterday, there's just a ton of outstanding looking animals. 1,800-pound steers, and just huge, well-maintained, very comfortable, docile animals because they live a good life.
Yeah,
they
do.
get
Hanging out in
pampered.
the barn, they're getting brushed, fed.
Oh, look, it's hot. There's a fly. Let's wash the cow.
Did you just see the Tim's Cascade?
We did, yeah.
So I tried the popcorn last night.
Oh.
It's
Is it
The
really
white
good.
cheddar.
The white cheddar.
White cheddar. It's wonderful.
try that.
Look at some happy fans.
Yeah.
I bet everybody at home is happy. They're sitting there probably with a cup of
Yeah, that's
coffee.
right.
Oh, yes.
Waiting for the sun.
couch.
And if you're at home watching this, you will have time at the end of the parade to make it downtown, get to the rodeo.
That's right.
I haven't heard whether today's performance is sold out or not, but I did hear there are not a lot of seats available. But there are certainly an opportunity to come down and try. And if you can't get into the rodeo, the fair has always got an open space, and there's not big lines at the elephant ear or the
funnel cake,
the funnel cakes, or the scones, or one of my favorites, the French fried potatoes.
Oh, I heard about those.
They take a giant potato, they turn it into fries, cook it up for you, and it comes out like a brick that's as big as a loaf of bread. And you get a chance to eat a lot of it. Oh, now, this is the float that always freaks me out.
Right. Oh, gosh.
Oh, yes.
These are the kids are doing gymnastics on a moving platform.
Yep.
They're doing flips and jumps, and it's on a platform supplied by Anderson Hay and Grain. You just saw the gal do a flip. I want to call out Anderson Hay. Because during the fire, Anderson Hay was the first producer to drop off a truckload like that of hay for the animals that had to be evacuated. Galloway came right in behind them with another truckload. There was never a short supply of things to take care of our animal neighbors. And so I just want to say thank you to those producers.
And then just behind them was the Washington Department of Natural Resources.
Yep, they snuck on by, and now we've got Pepsi Cola. So it's a proud exclusive soft drink partner of the Ellensburg Rodeo since 1992.
Which will be really delicious after we finish our coffee from the
Yellow Cafe, Church
Yellow
Cafe
Church.
coffee, and then Pepsi at the fair. Yeah, nice and cool. All good stuff.
Oh, look at this. I think we saw the Ford truck that went by on the big truck.
Yeah. Pepsi has got a lot of trucks in this parade, so they'll be here for a little while, more than how long they're going to be in the community year after year. And the great debate between whether there should be a designated hitter in baseball or not is overshadowed only by whether do you like Pepsi or the other one. And the other one being a sponsor of the fair, that's Coca-Cola.
But
you
can have both.
You can have both. You just bounce back and forth,
And then Fairpoint Communications just went by, and here we have Kittitas County Sheriff.
And Gene Dana is such a professional at what he does. You see the search and rescue truck. Those guys were involved in a very large marijuana bust earlier this week. 13,500 plants. Wow. They used that 5-ton truck to haul out the contraband. They used helicopters to haul search and rescue guys in to cut it all and airlift it back out. Wow. There's a major grow up in the Menashtash. And that's some of the stuff they do that you don't see. Yeah. What you did see was during the fire, search and rescue, sheriff's guys, they were out there doing the evacuations, standing in the way of the flames and the smoke, making sure that after the people were evacuated, their homes were protected.
Right.
So that people couldn't get in and help themselves. And so the bright yellow shirt or bright orange shirts are the Here I Am shirts, so that you can always find the search and rescue guys.
And the gentleman that just went by, Terrell Peterson, he's a Iraqi war vet, sniper, and he's one of the search and rescue guys here. He moved back to Ellensburg with his wife from Georgia.
That's excellent. I'm glad to have them here. The search and rescue also have a hasty team. And the hasty team are people that have their gear packed and ready to go. A lot of them carry it in the pickup or in the trunk of their car or have it at their office. If they have a problem, they're on the road within like 20 minutes.
Yep.
And they're very definitely the hasty team. And they have the animals that help them. A lot of the search and rescue people, there's quite a few of them that have canine support for search and for snelling out and trying to find people. Even some, we were talking as the county, some of the food that's donated to fire victims for the animals, we got too much.
Oh yeah.
I personally am going to recommend that maybe we give some of that to the search and rescue guys to help offset some of the cost for taking care of their animals. They're still out there rescuing us. They're still doing the same job, but they do it year in and year out. Mm-hmm. So they got a big salute goes to the search and rescue people.
So coming up behind them is the Ellensburg Rodeo, Are You Tough Enough to Wear Pink? And there's 2 entries. There's this one and one coming up a little bit later. And it's both of them are promoting the same idea. This is, I think, the KXLE entry. But tomorrow, on Sunday, if you go to the Ellensburg Rodeo, you have to wear pink. You have to remember to wear pink because they will do a little event in the arena. But the court will be in pink, the directors are in pink, all the visiting posses wear pink, the clowns wear pink.
Oh yeah.
I had to replace my Tough Enough to Wear a Pink shirt because for one, it was getting a little frayed, and 2, I got reminded that just because I bought one shirt a couple years ago, well, 5 years ago, that wasn't really support. I need to keep buying things every year, keep making those donations in fight of breast cancer.
So here we have some of the Yakima Indian Nation. We've always honored and respected Mother Nature, and they have a long history here in the Kittitas Valley as well as the Lower Valley. And these are just a few of the folks that'll be in the grand entry doing the dancing ahead of time. And at the Yakima Indian Village, that you are welcome to come visit. Everybody can go visit, and they will be doing some of their ceremonial dances every day after the rodeo and in the evening as well.
And they're happy to share their culture and their tradition and their warmth of friendship at any time. They're
And
good
these
people.
outfits that they are wearing have been passed on from generation to generation and were made by their family members.
Oh yeah, handmade. They're beautiful.
Look at that.
And they represent, a lot of them, different styles of dancing and ceremonial wear. And so it's just fun
Every
stuff.
year you see the little babies in the papooses, and then pretty soon those little babies are walking, and then they're running around and playing, and then next thing you know, they're older, and they're married, and they have kids.
Oh yeah.
So there's a little one in the stroller right now.
And I've had the pleasure of working with some of the tribal members on the fish recovery, salmon recovery programs, and some of those things, and stream restorations in and around the county, and just warm-hearted people that are just a joy to work
That
with.
is my favorite outfit.
Yeah.
Yes,
That is awesome.
the Plains dancer. And so the tribe is well represented. So not only do they have the dancers, now they have the float and the drummers that keep going. And during the beginning of the fair, as we talked earlier, when you get out and dance, that drum is in the middle of the arena. The drummers are tying it all together. It's just fun.
So some of the younger kids are here, they're trying to get on TV or something. Go, do you remember the first time, like, I'm on TV, this is so exciting. And now I'm like, oh, I hope I look okay.
Yep. Yeah.
But as you can see, the smiles and the just the fun of being a part of this tradition and the little ones. It's a great tradition that goes on year after year, and this is the 90th year of the rodeo, but it is by and far well beyond count for how many years the Yakima Nation have been coming to the Kittitas Valley.
That's right.
And this was their summering grounds for a lot of centuries. They came and gathered, and they celebrated together and had their big meetings and tribal meetings, so they are a part of everything.
I think that we have the Miss Kitsap Fair and Stampede.
Yeah.
They just completed their rodeo, and some of our friends are on the board there, and they said, this is so great. You know, we work so hard, we do the Kitsap Rodeo and fair and whatnot, and then they come to Ellensburg and they just relax and have a great time. And they're all the local members here in Ellensburg.
Oh, there you go.
Exactly.
And it's got to be, I can only imagine that it's got to be fun to be able to go to a rodeo and a parade that you're not in charge of.
Right.
You just go and show up.
Yeah. We're showing right now Miss Kitsap Fair and Stampede 2012 Crystal Hart, and she's age 19 from Paulsbo, and she's been traveling all year just like all the rest of the courts. You go around to all the rodeos and the parades and even out of the state, and you promote your community and your rodeo, and so we're thrilled to have her here. I'm sure she's thrilled to be here and just coming to ride the parade.
Yeah, and she's followed by the Kitsap Mounted Posse too. Can't forget them.
That's right. They'll be riding. Well, they'll be doing their competitions on Sunday night at the Sunday Night Show, which also will feature local barrel racing competition and mutton busting. Oh yeah.
And what you see now on screen is the Little Tot Town Daycare and Preschool. And these kids have definitely in the spirit, not only with the cowboy hats, but also with the clown makeup and all the rest of it. So they're having a good time. It's nice to have local representation, even that little in our own way, in a part of our parade. We're, again, telling you this is the Ellensburg Rodeo Parade for year 2012. And joined here by Liz Senior and Trish Subert-Buswell. And my name's Obi O'Brien. We again welcome you and thank you for joining us.
And it's starting to warm up here on University Way.
Yep.
So it is a beautiful morning, and we have got our first float of the day.
Oh, there we go.
Daffodil Festival, Don't Stop Believing. Queen Sarah, Princesses Emily, and Megan, and they are having a great time. You can see them coming up.
And
Flag bearer there.
I want to step back. We had a flight go by in the truck. We weren't able to talk about the Spirit Therapeutic Riding Center, and those are folks that use their skill with horses to help people who have been injured, who really need to bond. And so the Horse Therapeutic Riding Center is a great way for these people to recover and rehabilitate. These gals are having fun on their parade.
Look how much fun Sarah's having up there.
See, and I kind of like the idea they got that bumper around them. I remember seeing kids that were on the parade floats without them. I can only imagine a couple of them took a misstep and a header, and that would have to hurt.
Oh yeah.
How fun. Oh, and did you see the people walking next to them? They have the little flowers on their head.
Oh yeah.
We now see the Web Power Sports was in there, and they're a local producer or not producer, but they sell and maintain motorcycles for KTM, Husqvarna, and Ski-Doo. And then we have the next float coming up, which is the Colors of Hawaii. These folks are new.
I'm going for the first time in November. I'm so excited.
So we're going for Thanksgiving.
Oh really? Yeah, that's actually the same time. So.
All right, I'll stay here, hold down the fort.
Yeah, good.
I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, we will.
I appreciate that.
We didn't even plan that. How funny.
How cool. But the Hawaiian presence is just amazing. It's so colorful and so fun to see. And I can't say that.
Did you say it? Did you say what it was?
Kai Luau Pau Riders.
Flair and color. Each color represents an island and a flower, which is represented by a princess.
It's pretty cool having them come, I'm hoping, all the way from Hawaii just to be with us.
Well, I think it's gorgeous. I love the purple.
Yeah. Beautiful color.
So pretty. So we don't have their names, but right here behind us is the queen, and she is in purple. I don't know if that's her official escort behind her or not.
Yeah.
They're saying that they would like us to invite everyone to come out to the second weekend for the 103rd. Actually, I was reading the wrong one. I jumped ahead, folks. Sorry about that.
Well, there we get to see the colors of Hawaii behind us right now. So, okay, so when we are all in Hawaii, it's malasadas from Leonard's.
There
you have to do a workout before that. But the malasadas are, gotta go have one.
Okay.
If you say so, I'll believe you.
This is their first year, so maybe they'll come back.
Yeah.
Gorgeous, gorgeous.
And there's a lot of them.
Yes,
There's a lot.
Looks like they're having a good time, though.
Yeah. I know a couple of the people who kind of started to put this group together to be able to ride today, and I was talking to a lady riding, and she's like, they want to start my hair at 5 o'clock in the morning, and she's got kids at the fair and stuff, so there are a couple local riders to finish off all the islands and stuff, but it is really neat.
Okay, so
Well, I'm seeing the Astoria clowns.
I know.
And they're a little bit out of sequence in our books. We have to keep going. But we've seen them enough times. We know them.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And while you hunt for the page to read, I know that they're being pulled by the old hearse. And there's a calliope that is a special trailer that they have. And that was taken out of an old ship that they use to play in every parade they go. They ride some of the weirdest bicycles anywhere, and some of them they steer from the front and the back, which is kind of a unique arrangement.
Yeah.
some of them take their bikes and turn them upside down just for fun. And so I don't think I'd like to be on that bicycle.
I would probably fall off and go head first.
Stopping and getting down would be a little hard, I believe.
Yeah.
They seem to be having
We're going
a
to
good
have to
time.
guess who we're looking at here.
Handing out some candy, I like that.
Yeah. Candy's always good.
So Liz, what we have to do, when this is over, you're heading straight back to the fairgrounds, right?
I am. Yep. I actually don't have any. Excuse me. No horse shows today, but we do have one tomorrow morning. And everybody in the open and 4-H barn. It's just a small little show to kind of show the public what all these horse kids do. So
I think that's wonderful.
it's very So, and we even have some of the drafts, some of the big drafts that pull the carts in the rodeo and stuff. They actually do the shows and stuff like that too. So they'll get in there. It is really neat to see them.
Where
all.
can they go? Is that in Bloom Pavilion?
That is in Bloom Pavilion. Yeah, just if you walk around in there, you'll find all the horses. So.
Okay, now we're seeing Advantage Dirt Contractors, and these are the guys that make your house pad for you. They'll push in a road for you. They'll do whatever they need to do just to get that done. A nice big float. Somebody took some time to clean up that truck.
Yeah, they did.
Pretty sure if you're hauling a dozer in and out, it doesn't stay that clean. But it's fun to have them around.
The Astoria Clowns didn't do their act when they went by us today, so maybe they're going to do it further up the street.
I don't know what they're going to do. Yeah.
Well, I see some Cleellum outfits here. All-Star. Oh, this is the All-Star baseball team from right here in Fairfax County. And John Shea is one of the Posse members that's right along there.
Yeah, the Ellensburg All-Stars. And Ellensburg has been producing a lot of winning teams this last year. These kids have been everywhere doing good stuff. And then there's Cleellum followed right behind them in the big pup on the dump truck. And so, yeah, it's a load of fun.
And then I think
this is
Miss Rodeo Washington pageant title holders.
Yeah.
We actually have Miss Rodeo Washington here with us this weekend, Kylie Wiestra from Quincy, and then the Miss Teen Rodeo Washington, Maggie Little from Richland. And I don't know, I think that's all riding this morning.
Yeah.
The two girls.
Looks like it.
Today in the Grand Entry, there was quite a bit of royalty last night, but today in the Grand Entry, there'll be even more.
Oh yeah.
And look forward to seeing all of them do their grandstand runs. Last night, the clown, J.J. Harrison, snuck off with Kelly Schademann's horse, the president. He did the grandstand run for Kelly Schademann.
That's fun. And now we have behind us the Dogtown Theater. They're the fun, family-friendly entertainment, Ellensburg every year. And this year's, they'll be playing The Widow's Mite, running throughout the county fair. So a bunch of local actors that just have a good time doing everything they want to do.
And following them is our state auditor, Brian Sontag. He is regular here at the Rodeo Parade, and he'll be sitting there in the president's box today watching the rodeo. And who doesn't love Ronald McDonald?
There's
Western Ronald McDonald.
Yes.
And he brought some friends this morning.
Yeah, he's got Grover and Hamburglar with him. And so they're always around. They're fun to have. I'm pretty sure they're not going to throw any Big Macs.
That's too bad.
Yeah, that's too bad. I would have been whistling them up, saying that I need fries with that.
That's right. Well, one of the things they've done is they've changed the kids' meals, which I'm happy for as a parent, but as somebody that also likes to order it, I'm kind of irritated. I like my French fries.
Yeah. Right behind them, we have, just briefly, you saw Yamaha Jacks. That's our local dealer, Power Sports. He features motorcycles, scooters, ATVs, snowmobiles, wave runners, just about anything you need. You can get at Yamaha Jacks.
Obi, I was mistaken. This is who I was thinking.
This is the Vigilantes.
The Lake City, yes, Vigilantes. That's what I was.
And if we're fortunate this year, they're going to behave themselves. No, I don't think so.
Let's take a look and see what they do.
Okay, let's cut back to the. Let's see the clown. What the story is. So.
Or you can watch us.
Fortunately, they're stuck. There we go. Oh, they're back on the track. Maybe they are going to behave themselves. usually somebody seems to get shot sometimes. So pretty nice of them to do
And
this
then
stuff.
it's just a big trick because then they pull some poor lady out of the stands to give out. Yep.
I kind of think that perhaps they were going to do some mischief, but they got moved right along by the parade people that try to keep things moving. So that's helpful.
Okay, so coming up, not only is this float a typical Ellensburg float, it's a semi
flat.
with hay.
Yeah.
I love that. They're handing out water. How great
And
is that?
this is a float that's just called Know Him, based on John 4:3-14. Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. And I can tell you, when I was in a motorcycle trip, one of the biggest ministries were people that were handing out cold water. And if you are in a group with several 100,000 motorcyclists in a hot South Dakota day, having somebody hand out free water is really something special.
Oh, yeah.
So here's folks who are taking every bit of that. Thank you, darling.
you.
We were just given some water.
Talking about it.
Yes, and so it is wonderful. Here we have
Smokey the Bear's
another
coming up.
Smokey on another DNR truck.
We met Smokey yesterday at the fair. It was great. We went and rode the rides. Oh yeah.
Once we get the siren off.
Yeah, we go.
Here we have, this is Hita Anmende. This is the poster artist for this year's poster for the rodeo. And that poster is something to see. So if you have opportunity later today to buy one of the posters, I recommend buy it. Do like I've done. Frame up a couple of them, put them up on the
Beautiful
wall.
this year.
It is such a collection.
Here comes the official radio station, KXWD 104.1, so you can hear the rodeo live on this.
All right, and when I go down to Kennewick, I get to listen to KXWD to keep a little country music going as I drive through Yakima County and on down. Our local KXLE can't be reached that far.
And then right before the National Guard here is another Tough Enough to Wear Pink, and this one is put on. Ellensburg Rodeo partners with Kittitas Valley Community Hospital to support the fight against breast cancer. All the funds that are donated stay right here in Kittitas County. And on the top of the float is my sister Meg, who is 1 year breast cancer survivor, and then driving it is my father, who said as he walked out the door this morning, after 30-some years, are you serious? I'm still doing the parade.
Earlier, you briefly saw General Brett Doherty and his lovely wife Dolores, and they're part of the Washington National Guard. This is the Kittitas High School cheer team, and then followed by Men in Skirts.
I love the Clan Gordon right there. These are my favorite every year. This is also the pipe band is the official band of the Puyallup Valley Daffodil Festival under the direction of pipe band major Brad Collins. It was formed in 1955.
Right behind them, we're kind of missing a little bit, is the four-horse pulling team for the Silver Street Cable, and then Friends of Rob McKenna for governor. This is one of the politicians we talked about earlier, that there will be a lot of them in the parade. And I really encourage everyone to go out and vote. This is America, you get to choose. And if you want to have a choice and a say, elect the people that listen to what you have to say. So here's Rob McKenna himself walking. And kind of nice to see him in jeans, not always in the suit like you see him when he's over in Olympia.
Oh yeah. I mean, not every day is going to be a business day. Not every day is going to have to wear a suit. And I think
Well, every job has a different uniform.
Yep, that's true. And you know, what I happen to like is that at this level, even at the state level, they can relax and be themselves.
Yeah.
It's so hard because everybody wants to form you into something, their idea. So this is nice. You know, he's in jeans. That's what you should be in the rodeo.
Yep. Yeah.
Wrangler jeans, mind you.
Kind of fun to see the little supporters for Rob McKenna talking in the window going, can I have some candy? Come on in, please. Can I have some?
Because the Kittitas County Republican Party is also with Rob in his contingent today.
Yeah.
I think they're having a
They're having a fun
passenger
time.
change here. Yeah.
And right behind the Republican Party is Commissioner Paul Jewell, who's also running for re-election. So he decided to just walk in the parade, not have the big float and all the rest of that stuff. But he does have a pretty big sign.
Good. Yes.
So it's kind of nice to have them here. He represents District 1, which is the south end of Ellensburg and then headed all the way out to the Vantage, to the river. So he covers that zone. But all of us cover the whole state, the whole county, and we all work together and have different things. He works very hard on the water issues. I seem to be getting more involved with forest health and with fish and wildlife and all of that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool to have different works.
Well, and look, he's a smart politician. What's he throwing out?
He's candy. He's got it down. He's doing well. And he likes to walk, so he walks in the parades.
Well, we have a little bit of a gap coming up right now, I think, and then you're going to be in for a big treat because the Seattle Cossacks are coming through with their little motorcycles, and they always do it.
I'm good, Paul. Good to see you, buddy.
But if you are just tuning in, this is ECTV Community Channel 2 here in Ellensburg, and my name is Trish Super Buswell. I'm being joined today with Obi O'Brien and with Shinyar, and we are bringing you our version, hopefully your favorite version, of the Ellensburg Rodeo Parade from right here on University Way, and D Street. So if you're having a cup of coffee, we hope you're enjoying it. I know a lot of my friends are at home this morning watching, and then they're going to be coming down and doing the parade, doing the rodeo this afternoon, and then the Extreme Bulls tonight.
Yes.
And again, I want to encourage you all to not ride like that. That's the Seattle Cossack. Those guys are excellent at what they do. I've seen them perform a lot.
It began in the 30s with a group of racers and hill climbers and developed into stunts to entertain themselves between the events.
And all of those
Not always.
motorcycles are the very old Harleys. They're almost all 45 cubic inch, which makes them, I forget the cc's, but
Look at that.
about 800 cc's. So the
Wow.
45 cubic inch. Those motorcycles were built in the 40s and 50s, and so they take care of them. You'll see them, they kick and start every time when they want to, and sometimes it takes some work, and sometimes it takes more guys than one to ride a bike. And so they do that all the time, and they're doing it pretty easy here on asphalt. I've seen them perform on grass.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they get pretty tough.
Wow, look at that.
That's the layout, yeah.
I think the crowd just went wow too.
Yeah.
He's a little mixed up. But it's these guys, I can't say they're professionals, but they are committed volunteers. They do this a lot. Some of them are actually Seattle police motorcycle officers. Yeah, and so they are very familiar with bikes and all of the rest of that. While they're doing their things, I'd encourage you again to visit one of our contributors, the Yellow Church Cafe, that brought us coffee and donuts, the sweet rolls this morning. It's a particular favorite of mine, if you can't tell. And although I have been trying to get a little thinner, so my doctor keeps encouraging me to not become much more of a man than I am.
And he's probably listening at some point. And
Good chance.
well, the crowd has really grown since we went live about, 9:15, 9:20 this morning. And as you can see, there are a few people, 4 or 5 people deep, and it's just going to continue to grow here on the street with the crowd. Wow, look at that formation. Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah,
No
and
hands.
the
No hands.
no hands. They all kind of balance together, and their set of bylaws are to entertain and to promote motorcycle safety. And these guys, like I say, they go all over the place. They do probably as many parades as the Royal Court does.
Wow.
Yeah. How many parades did you do when you were in the court?
Oh, goodness. Probably upwards of 10 or 15.
Between 10 and 15. Is that more than what you did?
It might be about the same. We did a lot of personal appearances, but we did take our horses. And we did a lot of fairs. So this is awesome. They're backing up right by us.
They're parking up. They're going to do a maneuver right here. All right. Are you going out there?
Howdy folks, we are so pleased to be in Ellensburg. Those guys, they're my homies, the Seattle Cossacks motorcycle stunt and drill team. We have been in continuous operation since 1938. The bikes we ride are hand shift full-fledged Harley-Davidson motorcycles. They range in age from 1934 to 1949. And like I said before, we are so pleased to be with you.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to run out there and do the silliness on those bikes. So those guys are wonderful people. I'm going to step back a little bit out of the way so you can see what they're doing.
That was very good.
That is some good stuff.
These aren't young men doing this.
No, they're not. They're old farts like me. Oh, I don't know. That's a great maneuver. I know why I am not one of them. I'm not that proud and that brave. And after having...
They held up the parade a little bit, but that was totally worth it. Very much worth it. And I don't think that Lauren didn't mind that very much either. She's the 2012 Pioneer Days queen. Looks like she's got a pretty good view of all their acts. Oh yeah. There they go.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for a great parade.
Three guys on the backs of the bikes with the shirts on, the plain burgundy shirts. Those guys are apprentices, and I think they're probably in their mid-20s, so they just have to watch.
Yeah.
Until they can practice the stunts themselves.
They have to ride a lot.
But then here comes the Pioneer Days queen right behind us. Looks like she's having a lovely day in her convertible. Yeah. And then we have coming up. Oh goodness. Two business division entries together, the Operating Engineers Training Center located on Vantage Highway. IUOE operators from the local Rio 2612 as well as apprenticeship training programs. And they have the junior apprentices handing out candy.
And if you drive out the Vantage Highway, you can see these guys in their training grounds. You know, got the big derricks and all the big earth movers out there and the big cranes. And they're pretty intriguing to watch all that stuff. They got some big equipment and some big toys.
Yep. And now we're back to the horses.
Back to the horses, okay.
The Noyes buggies. So Clinton Noyes, 92, and his son Bruce driving an 1890s Studebaker Doctor's buggy. Clint is a longtime Valley resident who has been in the parade many times. And the green wagon is a homemade wagon driven by Greg Duff. And I will mention right now, last night when we had to wait for the re-ride at the end of the rodeo, JJ went into the stand and he was asking who the youngest person was, and there was a 3-week-old baby there. And around us were like, oh, 3 weeks, you know. And I said, oh, well, you know, Piper was 3 weeks old and we took her to her first baseball game because we wanted her there for the opening pitch for the Washington Nationals. Oh, very cool. But the oldest person at the rodeo was an old friend of mine. Cliff Gage was there. He was 99 and he was with his younger sister who was 97.
Wow.
And Cliff has been part of the rodeo for a long time. He was our Ellensburg rodeo wrangler at drill instructor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So.
Now, followed behind them is the Anderson family. Farm features natural goat and milk, body, and baby care products created on the farm here in Ellensburg with fresh pasteurized goat milk.
You know, they handed this out last year. We got bars of soap. I think it was great. We took it home and used it. It was
It looks like they're still handing out some stuff now. That's pretty cool.
Oh, and how cute is this? They have the whole family behind them in the little buggy.
I like the little wagon train.
Wagon train.
Yeah, that's a great deal. No shortage of creativity in the people who participate in the Ellensburg Parade. And this is the 2012 version. And I think so it's been going on, decorating their little wagons with the different goat cutouts. Right behind them we have the historic police vehicles. and that Congressman Dave Reichert is going along with them, and he wants to be able to let everyone know the Seattle Police Museum's cars, they're all original, they're all restored to their authentic era, and some of them are known locally. So Congressman Reichert's supporters are here, as is Congressman Reichert in the back carrying his hat.
There he is. Look at him. That's a nice outfit. He's got a little vest on.
Yeah, he's got some Western going on. His boots don't even look brand new. Hey, Dave. So it's nice to have him here. And he's,
nice day to be out walking too.
It is,
Nice to walk the parade.
Sirens have changed a lot over the years, haven't they? Yeah, not that you girls know anything about that. Just,
Behave ourselves. That's a nice looking car though. That is.
but the State Patrol's got the most fun. And,
It's interesting.
maybe
to
they
see how
could lock
cars
up a
have
couple of the
changed, too.
politicians for us. What do you think? Go pick up a politician or two, put them away.
Well, I hear some music that makes me a little hungry coming up.
Definitely.
I hear the Charro del Dorados
Yeah,
coming up, but
there's a ways away down there.
Yeah.
So we get to fill and share with you some of our own impressions, and I want to talk about last night's rodeo. The performance was amazing. The amount of athleticism that those cowboys put out, and the amount that the animals put out. I think the thing that I am most often surprised at is the bulls that are so highly trained. They come out the chute, they look like they're ready to rip the hide right off of every cowboy.
Oh yeah.
The bell goes off and they stop and they say, okay, open the gate, I'm done. Right? They know their 8 seconds of work, they're treated well, they're pampered animals.
Oh, they very much are.
My son helps with the Beard family over the years, and it takes care of the bucking stock, both the bulls and the horses. And so he's been out there when it is just plain nasty cold, making sure that those animals have the feed and the fuel, and the water that they need to be able to sustain it. And so those animals are taken care of. They are truly athletes, part of the team. And every time somebody bucks out, the animal gets half the score. And the cowboy gets half the score. So if you haven't been to a rodeo, we want to invite you to come on down.
And it's not just the ones that are here performing at this level, it's from the very start.
Yeah.
Because I was in East Texas this year visiting my rough stock, because I have some bulls, and they are too, and they've got a great gig.
They do.
are in there with their friends, they eat, they can roll around. Every week they get taken in through the chutes and they practice with a remote control dummy on them, and it's a good life. If you make it to this level, it's a better life. But it's great. So here they come.
Now that's a Mexican dancing horse. That's a horse that's partly trained, but mostly that's just the way that he likes to show off. And it's really a wonderful looking horse. This is the Association of Charros de Jalado, Mexican Federation of Charros, the USA, and the Ranchero Tres Amigos from Maple Valley, Washington, a group of charros dedicated to training and dancing horses. In order to train in charros required time and patience and dedication. And then the musicians that are just as fun as they can be. Having the mariachis, come along, it just adds that extra flavor.
That it does. It's great.
Maybe you were seeing the mane on that horse. It's all brushed out, very colorful, very long mane. And most of the American horses seem to have their manes trimmed up a lot more than that, but they're just gorgeous looking animals.
It takes a lot to maintain those manes, though, let me tell you.
I bet it does. That's why I wear short hair.
Yep. It's much easier.
But what's funny is what we can see right now on TV, what doesn't take as long to pretty up are the dachshunds, because they're a little bit smaller. Look at that outfit.
That's a great outfit. got to think they'll beat it up as much as some of the Indian ones, but those are very traditional mariachi uniform costumes. And I think it's our local Mexican restaurant that first started bringing them in, and now they come on their own just because they like to be a part of the parade. And we like to have them here. They're good neighbors and good part of our own community. And they're good folks.
Dancing behind us there.
As you started to talk about the Dachshunds on Parade, it's a local event that's been going on for 10 years. And I got to tell you, I have a hard time understanding why you would want to dress in the same thing that your dog's dressed in and come enter in a parade in downtown. And they have their own day. The Dachshunds on Parade is their own day downtown Ellensburg. And if you want to see a bunch of cute animals, a bunch of people that really enjoy, all kidding aside, they really do enjoy the uniqueness of the dachshund. So they come and celebrate from all over. We have people from many states that actually come and participate and bring their animals with
And
them.
everybody goes down and watches it. My parents were down there and they said it was a hoot. They loved it.
Yeah, it's a big event.
Yeah, and the dachshund races, you know, that's hard to imagine, but those little critters scoot.
Yeah, they're fast.
They really are.
And you know, we've got a couple different breeds in today. We've got the long hair walking, we've got a puppy, we've got just your regular run-of-the-mill dachshund there.
And then right behind them now, there's the one of the little ones.
The little one.
It's a good thing that dog can't get much traction.
Yeah.
I mean, it's trying.
You know how much she's walking compared to everybody else?
That's it. Yeah, and right behind them, we have Cub Scout Pack 480, shaping our men for a great future. Now, in 1943, Kittitas was the first one to form the first of many of the packs in the state. And so it's really nice to have them, and they're being associated with the Kittitas Fire District #1. That's a pretty big dachshund.
Pretty big dachshund.
Yeah.
That must be their float.
Yeah.
It's a dachshund float. Okay. There's a couple of them.
It is warming up nicely here.
It is. It's coming up really nice. And what we see on camera right now, that's the 1957 Ford police car, and that is the Yakima police car. And it was restored by over 130 men and women police officers of the Yakima Police Patrolmen's Association. And it's used for parades and public appearances. And right behind them, we have another politician! Yay!
You weren't kidding when you said there was going to be a bunch of them.
You know, politicians, we're everywhere.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we're everywhere. Do our very best. And the reality is most of us had another life before we got involved in public service. And
Well, I always he's on his horse.
Yeah.
he's on a horse. That's it.
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah. The horses I have in my yard aren't even mine, so I don't ride them.
Well, we hope everybody else is enjoying the parade as much as we are this morning. And I'm having a great time. This is the best seat in the house. And I was just looking at my husband standing over there watching, and he was always like, "Really, I'm going to parade?" I said, "Yeah, it's going to be great." And you know, every year he ends up having fun.
Oh, yes.
And I come down early and was setting up at 6:30 this morning with the rest of the camera crew, setting out the chairs for my family, so they're all camped around just around the corner, so they're enjoying the parade.
I believe your family was dressed in the appropriate colors today too.
They do their best.
They had a lot of purple on.
Yeah.
Well, I told you we were up at 6 this morning watching Navy Notre Dame.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
My husband went to Navy, and you should have heard him. He said, "You know, it's not as if the deck is completely stacked against Navy playing Notre Dame in Ireland."
Yeah.
Yeah, might be a bit tough. Then we have float for the Moxie Hop Festival Royalty, Queen Chelsea Moberly. I'm doing as good as you.
There you go.
First Princess Sanchez, second Princess Yarixa Sanchez, and third Princess is Isabel Chavez.
Excellent job, Obi.
So, thank you. We do our best. But it's fun to have them here and have all the other floats and other fairs and rodeos being a part of it.
That's right. And they have a routine that they're doing on back of their float. And then following them is BC Playdays. Queen Brandy would like to invite everyone to their Playday series the first Sunday of each month, May through September. So don't. This isn't a local. The play days are. It doesn't say.
Doesn't say. And I think the play days are for those people who have kids at home. They get together, socialize. A lot of the kids that perhaps are homeschooled, it allows them to socialize, get back together with each other, keep those friendships going that are going to last a lifetime. So it's an important thing. Right behind them now we have the Ellensburg Christian School. And the Christian education builds a fabric of a child's character. Outstanding academics, Bible-based values taught in the Ellensburg Christian School help children to become who God designed and desires them to be. And that is a great education path for those kids to be able to go to a private education like that. So, and I have known some families, and their academics are tough. Nobody gets a free ride at that school.
They come right there behind us. Looks like the children are having a really good time today. The teachers are walking through too.
Right, and you can hear them behind them saying, "Look, you're on TV, wave." Hello. So it's good to have them here. The Ellensburg School used to be spread out over various churches, and then they were able to buy their own building a few years ago. So now they have their own building that is set up just for them. They're not having to set up and break down every day for, every weekend because someone else is, they're in someone else's facility. So that's pretty fun.
And then right after them, we just saw real quick was Karen Porterfield. She's running for Congress.
Running for Congress, yeah.
And then here we have the stage door dance. Oh, there's Karen.
Oh, there's Karen.
Right.
Hi, Karen. Yeah, it says that she's running for Congress and she's a Democrat. Got a nice choice of cars, though. Yeah. That's okay. We like that. And so, and now they're going to go up and get a visit from Dachshund.
All right. And then right behind her, like I said, is Stage Door Dance Studio, and they are promoting their Christmas time performance of the Nutcracker.
The Nutcracker.
That isn't nice.
We haven't gone to this one in a while, but we do it every year. Piper loves to see
it's fun.
The Sugar Plum Fairy and everything else.
Fun to watch them do that. And the hard work that the little kids go in, it's very serious for them.
Very
much there.
Yeah.
And this year, Stage Door will be collaborating with the CWU's Theater and Dance Department, and it'll be shown here at McConnell Auditorium.
Yeah.
Which, when I was little, I was a skunk. My sister and I were skunks in a Bambi performance here. Yeah. I think I was 6 or 7, and that's when I knew my dance career was over.
Yep.
There's certain messages contained
Exactly.
there?
We've got the swimming, where they appreciated broad shoulders.
Yeah.
Here we have the 2012 Broken Spur Rodeo Queen Becky, and she would like to invite everyone to join her September 9th, which is next weekend, in Goldendale, Washington for a youth rodeo. I am scoring on the names.
You are getting the easy ones.
I am.
Yeah, it's all good.
And you know who's riding with her is the Ketchum Calf Rodeo Queen Jackie, which was June 16th and 17th.
We got a lot of rodeo stuff. There's rodeos all over the state and a lot of other states and counties and countries around us. None of them, I can tell you, none of them as good as Ellensburg. Ellensburg Rodeo is within the top 10 of the nation.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Highest prize money available. It is the largest, without a doubt, largest rodeo this weekend and Labor Day weekend anywhere in the nation. Uh-oh, that little one got tired.
You see the little the gunslingers?
Yeah.
The gunslingers have been part of this parade for years and years and years, and we are so happy to see them, and I believe they'll be doing a routine here in a minute as well. 1991. They're in their traditional red and black Western styled uniforms, and they're led by Captain Ashley Baird and First Lieutenant Jazzy Wright, Second Lieutenant Samantha Hoffman.
You almost got tripped up on that one.
Yeah.
But you made it through. You are a true professional. The thing that really surprises me about the gunslingers is how they stomp.
I know.
And that hurts my feet just to watch them
And
stomp.
they're going to do this all the way through the whole parade.
Yeah.
They're fortunate it's a short parade. When my sister marched in the Rose Parade, it was not a short parade.
Yeah.
They would not have been able to stomp that one.
No way. All right, here we have Creative Kids Learning Center, a place to learn and grow. And what's really neat about these floats, these local floats, is the kids that go there, kids that are in the Ellensburg Christian School and the gymnasts and everything, they get to ride. This is a big deal, part of their year is they get to ride in the Ellensburg Rodeo Parade.
And the preschools and the children's centers and learning centers are incredibly important for the development of these kids. It's nice to see them get a running start from people who are really, really committed to these kids.
This is one of my favorite places to stop in Ellensburg.
Yeah, the Utopia
the
frozen
Utopia.
yogurt place is fantastic.
And this is, I love that they're pretty progressive here. It says that you can follow them on Facebook or Twitter for updated flavor changes and specials. And they have a little shop this weekend in the Western Village too.
And I can tell you that during the animal evacuation, when we had all those animals, Utopia brought their portable dispensary down, set it up on the fairgrounds, and gave out slips for free Utopian yogurt to all the volunteers.
Wow.
You know, and when you figure out a couple hundred volunteers throughout that time, that was no small commitment by that local company to help take care of the volunteers who are taking care of our friends and neighbors and their animals. And I want to say again, my great thanks to all the volunteers during the Taylor Bridge fire. Not only all of the people from out of county that sent stuff, but all the people who worked hard, not just at the fairgrounds with the animals. There were a lot of people that were helping out at the donation centers and everything else. I do want to call attention to the one float.
Can I just say I'm back here making signs? I'm saying, Brad, look, it's the U.S. submarine
It's the submarine vets, yes. And one of our cameramen, Art Clark, is a member of the Submarine Veterans Association.
My husband's a member.
All right.
Yeah, and this little submarine they have on the back, I think they were just showing it. So at his Naval Academy tailgaters, they built a smoker that looks just like a submarine, and they smoke all the food for the tailgates at every home game. And I think it looks like a submarine just like that, only bigger.
And if you want to know more, you can check their website at ssn509.com.
Okay, that got me a little excited.
That
was
is
cool.
it. SSN is Strategic Submarine number 509.com. Yeah. We now have the Cherry Valley Riders, and Cherry Valley have been here for a long time. They come in, they do their ride along in their bright red shirts, and they're a part of this parade for as long as I know. And the CVR is a fun-loving horse group based out of Duval, Washington. And they and their horses enjoy trail riding, camping, gaming, doing parades, and the occasional grand entry.
And then you know who this is, Thurston County.
Thurston County, Posse,
Okay, so here's one of the things that happens starting today. They'll do posse races during the show, and then they have big posse race, big competition on Sunday. So some of these horses, and Thurston County is known for having some really fast horses because they're part thoroughbred, and part of the rules are you have to be able to perform and do the drills with these horses that they also use in the races. And so I will say that some of these horses are pretty calm right now, and they might perk up a little bit as the noise gets a little louder because they're actual, race horses. Yeah.
But they are good-looking animals. And once again, you can tell these are animals that are they're ridden, they're exercised, they have opportunity to be out and do what they're intended and what God wanted them to do. So it's nice to have those animals out there.
And just with the horns honking and things like that, that's a tribute to the riders and how much they do work with them, because for some horses, that honking, they can't handle it. So these people work with these horses.
Well, right behind them is the Ellensburg Animal Shelter and Control. And the Animal Shelter Control Division is a law enforcement, and they enforces laws pertaining to animals and care for our community's homeless animals with the help of volunteers who donate over 3,500 hours per year. And if it wasn't for the volunteers, a lot of the animals would have to be put down. But because the animals do it, or the volunteers help take care of all the animals, they don't have to.
And right behind them is Walk a Mile in Their Shoes. You should see these guys. They all have red heels on.
Well, the one guy's got sandals. I think he's cheating.
I think he's learned what we've all learned.
Yeah.
And Greg Zempel has a pair of size 13 red shoes.
Good for him.
Those I can't imagine.
Sharp-looking dressed men.
Yes, they are.
Pretty tough to imagine trying to walk a mile in those shoes.
mention that it's hosted by Aspen, which is Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Victims Service Center. And so that's why these gentlemen are all walking a mile.
Okay.
They're actually walking a little more than a mile today, though.
Just a bit. And this, I think we see it, is the Brian Guild of Cle Elum has his propane-powered 1993 GMC 7-ton pickup with a 6-speed transmission and a 2-speed reverse rear end to haul hay and horses. That's one bad truck. And that's a lot of hay.
Ride, too.
Yeah. Trying to hang on to a round barrel of hay, that's more than throwing your leg over a buffalo.
Here we have the Spirit of the West Cowboy Gathering. Celebration of music, poetry, and art. And I was watching ECTV the other night, and it was on.
Yeah.
The show from this year. Wow. Really good.
And when I went this year, the Spirit of the West is just an amazing group of people. Not only do they sing, but they do the storytelling. And there's this little guy, you can't really tell much about him. As soon as you start singing and yodeling, it makes you think you're back around a campfire at an old Western Drive. It is wonderful stuff. There we have, you can see the sign for Catherine Clerf. She's running for commissioner for Kittitas County District 1. And she says, a vote for good governance, Republican. A Clerf for commissioner, vote for good governance. And so that's her big sign on the back of a nice big white truck.
And then she's walking in front of her.
Yeah.
So we are 2/3 of the way through the parade so far. I hope you're enjoying it. We are. We're having a good time. This is the only time, actually it's probably the only time all three of us will actually sit down today. Well,
Yeah, probably.
not Obi. We didn't let Obi sit.
Yeah.
No.
Handle it.
Sitting is overrated. Here we can see on TV Jim Dennison. And Jim Dennison is one of the candidates for Supreme Court judge. And he's got quite a supply of followers and supporters, and they're all walking along. And they're following the rules. I discovered when I was campaigning that you're not allowed to throw candy anymore. You have to walk out and kind of give it to people. So it takes a lot of people to walk along and give away all that candy. And so it's pretty fun to have a group of people around with you.
And there's the Christmobile.
And
Bringing you the good news of salvation in the name of our living Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. They're an annual participant here in our parade.
They are. They have been here for as long as I can remember. They got a newer car, though. Yeah, much newer car. And so that all helps. So, again, I just want to thank you for joining us for the parade, Ellensburg Rodeo Parade, year 2012. And again, joined by Trish Subert-Buswell and Liz Shenya. My name's Obie O'Brien. Thank you for joining us. If you're seeing this on replay, please don't run right down to the fairgrounds. But if you're watching it live, you will have time at the end of the parade to get down to the fairgrounds to watch the rodeo and to be a participant. And you can spend the rest of your day at the fair checking out the animals, the 4-H animals, and all the rest of the stuff they've got. And if you really have to, we have the carnival with all the good food and the fun rides. And so I want to encourage you to come and participate, hang out with your neighbors.
Yeah. And just as you were talking, the Safeway float just went by sponsoring the Just For You program, which is great. I'm a member of, and you just go click on what you want and you get your savings without having to cut coupons or anything. So,
That's very cool.
Great idea.
So,
Yep.
now we've had a whole collection of these antique campers, camp trailers.
These are great.
They are fun.
This is what my grandma and grandpa used to take us camping in.
Yeah.
And they'd take us to the Tianaway. We had this the Aloha trailer. And we'd pull behind the Jeep. And there'd barely enough room in there for us to sleep and wash your hands. And there was no bathroom, really.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not.
A couple of buddies of mine traveled all over the country in one, a little small, well, like that little one right at the end, about a 13-foot trailer. And I was the smaller of the three of us.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, Big Ed was 6'4" and about 285. And so he filled up a whole bunk.
yeah, fun though. I mean, those are the memories.
We were on the road for 4 months, going end to end on the country. It was a great time. We'd stop and work wherever we could, and then get enough gas money to get down the next place.
Yep.
That was it.
Group of those gals.
This is This will be the Jazz in the Valley float, I'm suspecting. Well, I question that pink saxophone.
I like it.
Yeah. But I volunteered again this year for the Jazz in the Valley. It was great fun. And this year I got to be inside the main stage area at the beer garden. So I got to hear all the great music and be there and have people come and go. It was fun time. And if you haven't been to Jazz in the Valley or haven't been recently, every year they have some of the same groups and every year new groups. And that should be Lenny playing his saxophone up there.
Look at him. That's great.
He is amazing. That is July 26th through 28th this coming year in 2013. So last weekend in July. And so great fun. All different kinds of music. Rock, jazz, all the way to Dixieland jazz on the corners.
I love it. Yeah, it's very, All right, well here we have the Washington Conservation Corps, the Yakima Basin, the Washington Conservation Corps works with numerous agencies and organizations to restore habitats for salmon and resident
Yeah, and one of the committees I'm on is the Yakima Basin Fish and Wildlife. And there's a lot of work being done by the Conservation Corps as a part of the group that's trying to restore it. And if you know that Ellensburg had a part of the land that's out beside the Rotary Park that was reconditioned and rehabbed, and there's a stream that was rehabbed through there. Now salmon and steelhead are nesting in that stream inside the city limits. A lot of the work done by and the Conservation Corps and the other people trying to restore the animal fish populations and to natural habitat throughout the systems.
Right there you're seeing part of the float from the Meridian Sun Salon. And then behind them,
that's the Waluka High School Band, and they're performing its spring parade piece. That's the way I like it. Thanks to all who have come to continue and support the program. And I got to tell you, I really appreciate having the Waluka Band here. Being an old band member, I kind of miss out that you only have one, maybe two bands.
Yeah.
I remember parades that had 8 or 10 bands. You would compete everywhere you went, trying to see who could be the straightest line, who could be the best musician. And it's just nice to have more than other bands here. So appreciate Waluka making the trip and coming and being here and being a part of this parade. We can't talk over that drum.
here's some girls that I like, and I haven't been able to see them compete, but I have been to some roller girl competitions.
You have.
They are awesome.
And they are tough.
They are.
That's another set of athletes that have to work really hard. And it's fun to have them in the parade, roller skating all over the place.
Well, the Roller City Roller Girls love their fans, and they thank their community for all of their support. And this is their second year?
They're relatively new.
Yeah, this I think may even be their third, maybe the third year, because they were starting just before I got into office. And yeah,
So you
they're
can follow
fun.
them on Facebook. Look at these outfits. This is so great. Oh, we've got them. Yeah, this is
Yes.
so great. Look at them. They all have nicknames. They've got great outfits.
And here we have a roller girl with us.
Hello, hi, how are you guys doing?
Yeah. How long have you been skating?
I've been skating for about 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're having tons of fun.
Good.
It's
So what's your
amazing.
nickname?
Trouble in Paradies.
Ah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks guys for having us out here. We're having a good time.
Good. Glad you're here. Thank you very much for coming over and saying hi.
Did you see the mouth guards they have?
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Way back in another life, my dad used to coach a LA T-Birds roller derby. He was one of their assistant coaches. So to see the roller girls is just that really old fun part to bring back some memories.
Yeah.
And here comes the Rodeo City Equestrian Drill Team. It's a mounted drill team that competes and does exhibitions throughout the state. and they travel from different parades every year, and they're here, obviously in Ellensburg, and here they are coming through right behind us, and then following them is their truck, one of their trucks that carries some of the horses to each parade and performance and drill competition.
Yeah, and sometimes those of us who don't have to haul animals kind of forget that you have to have a big enough truck to pull a 2-horse or a 4-horse trailer. One of the things I noticed during the Taylor Bridge fire was all the people that had trailers went immediately up those roads where the fire was coming and started evacuating animals. It wasn't even an organized event. It was just people showed up. And there were people that had horses that had, like, they'd stuff 6 horses in a 4-horse trailer and get them out of there. But in some cases, they had to line up the truck saying, okay, you take 1 horse and you take 1, because they had so many vehicles and people who were volunteering. Again, my shout out to the volunteers and all the people that jumped up to help each other.
I think that what we just saw there was the Habitat for Humanity with the blue and green balloons, I believe. Pinetaz County Habitat for Humanity.
And it's not on our notes here, but I think they're working on house 11 and 12. Building.
Oh, it is yeah. We know who they've got on the back there is the CWU's percussion students. Wow. That's a sharp-looking float. I love that color.
It's fun. Yeah. That is a fun float. And my wife and I have been a part of a couple of builds, and that's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. Now, right behind them is the Hope Source Transit. Now, you see on the air right now is the Central Transit, and that's a cooperation between Central Washington University and some others. And then Hope Source Transit is the agency that kind of runs it all. But the thing that they started this year that's pretty amazing, you see the big bus in the back. That's the Yakima Commuter. And you can climb on that bus, and I think it's $3 one way to come from Yakima. They have 4 stops down there, and then they come up here and drop people off. I know people that live in the Yakima Valley that come up here and work, and because of that bus, they can afford to work here, provide services we need here, and be able to get back and forth. So constantly growing. Hope Source is constantly working to better everybody's life in this community.
All right, and then coming behind them is the Ellensburg Moose Lodge. This year's membership campaign theme is everybody's campaigning, you're right, is Herd of Moose. Moose lodges and chapters support youth and elderly as well as their local community. And then following them, I believe, is a little bit of deliciousness. The Weinigers homemade ice cream and coffee. They've been around since 1956, and now they're distributing ice cream at their scoop shops out of the Ellensburg area.
Well, I got to tell you that Weinigers is one of the reasons my wife agreed to marry me. Came over here for a little 50-mile ride on my motorcycle. We stopped at Weinigers for some Kevinlicious, and she said, okay, I'll consider it. Yeah, so I really have a great vote of thanks to the Weinigers.
I think they're handing out coupons for free tubs of ice cream. And you know, when Gerald celebrated their anniversary this year, if you spent $65, I believe, you got a free tub of ice cream. So I went in and spent $75 at Gerald's and got a free tub of ice cream. Very cool.
Worth every penny. Worth every penny. And right behind them, you can see the mini cars of the Masada Shriners. And the Shriners have been having fun with those mini cars and a wrecker and a van supporting the Shriners hospitals caring for children at no financial obligation to the patients or the family. And the illustrious Sir Terry Bennett is the 2012 potentate.
You know, we just saw they had a little mechanical issue there. So
where's their little wrecker? Yes.
Yeah. They're back there trying to get their little cars going so they can come into a little drill routine for us, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, there they go. Oh, they got a little mechanical.
But it's awful nice to have them around to participate. And there they do their round.
Again, not young men doing this.
No. So I like the name on the back of one of the cars is Jerry Silvertip. Silvertip. He's got all white hair, so he's called Jerry Silvertip. That one's called the Italian Stallion and Bob Snoopy. And so they apparently all have custom license plates.
I like that. That's very neat.
Oh, and the little one on the trailer. Yeah.
And then
That's a good
right
record.
there in that red Mustang is I believe Dr. Paula Thompson, who's also running for county commissioner as an independent.
And Paula Thompson is running for District 2, that's Upper County. And so she is a local veterinarian and has a lot of people that she knows throughout the Upper County. A lot of people that have been working for her. And I don't know that she has so much as a vet clinic, but she's all mobile.
She is all mobile. She actually does dogs and cats and things like that. But you do see her more with the horses and cows and stuff. I actually worked with her before I got my license, so
very good.
it's very neat. Yeah, she does have a little clinic in her house, for critical patients. But
And as you heard it go by, they got that little Shriner Mustang running.
Going, yeah.
He's into third gear, catching up.
I love it. Okay, so here's, I don't think they're going to be too loud. No, they're not too loud. Well, I don't know. There's some tractors behind them.
Well, if they start yelling.
Early Irons and their annual Threshing Bee. I believe it's the third weekend in September. But
Yes.
it's coming right up.
And it's going to be their 30th annual show. They're hold that at the Olmsted State Park, which is between Kittitas and Ellensburg. And they will be on display, and they operate antique farms equipment. And some of that stuff is lovingly cared and restored and put back together. And right behind them is the Kittitas County Historical Museum. And the museum has got all kinds of stuff in there, including some electric vehicles and some old cars that have been owned and driven by pretty famous people. And I'm not even going to tell you about them. I want you to go see them. Go on down to the Kittitas County Historical Museum. And they are just something else.
it's interesting to see the different tractors as well and how far farming has come.
Right.
So
I'm just happy they didn't blow the horns.
yeah.
Yes. There you go.
There you go.
There, that wasn't too bad. Okay, so following them is the 2012 Miss Cooley City Rodeo. And this is Queen Katie Derringer. And she's 18 years old from Moses Lake. And Katie is representing the 60th annual PRCA Cooley City Last Stand Rodeo. And she invites you to attend 3 exciting days of rodeo action every Memorial Day weekend.
So they're early in the season, and we are late in the season. And we, as far as we being the Ellensburg Rodeo, which is happening again tonight, and so this afternoon, excuse me.
I will say she was joined by
Moses Lake Roundup. Yeah.
Oh, the
Queen
lake.
Jade.
Okay. And then we saw just briefly I think that was Fran Chmielewski's float. And Fran's running also for Supreme Court judge. And she's not actually in the float. She had a family medical emergency, so she had to be out of town. But her supporters are here. And then Gary Burnt is another candidate. He is running also for Kittitas County Commissioner District 2, the Upper County District.
And you know, there's a lot of, we said this all the way along, there's a lot of royalty, but you can't put all the royalty together because you've got to spread out the beauty.
Yep.
So it's not like putting 2 stallions in stalls beside each other?
Here, this is why we've got Miss OMAC Stampede, Katie Fergus, here, and she represents she's the ambassador of the OMAC Stampede and invites you to join OMAC next year for the world famous OMAC Stampede and Western Celebration held the second week in August. So.
And not to dispel it, but the next flip in our book here says the Riley City Rodeo Queen, Quincy Wells. So is she actually there? There's kind of a gap.
I think, yeah.
She just
all right.
her 2 representatives. They
Okay.
just went by 2.
Oh, they went together. Okay. So anyway, so now behind us you can see Judge Fran Chmielewski's support group. And so she's going on through saying hello, doing all their stuff. So the enthusiasm supporting a candidate, I got to tell you, is pretty impressive until you get elected. Then that enthusiasm wanes a bit.
The work actually starts.
Well, and your supporters, wane just a bit too.
Look at this car coming up with this group right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it is a gorgeous car. They're promoting their film.
Oh, that's the Ellensburg Film Festival. Yes.
The 8th Ellensburg Film Festival, the first weekend in October. You can go to festival.com to check out their schedule.
I think you can follow them on Facebook as well.
Oh, sure.
Now, this is called Pasi Kamatas Keklos. I'm blowing that one. As the wheels revolve, the issues evolve. And once again, we enjoy seeing the latest evolution of Dave Cloud's creations. Dave is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records for his electric hydroplane. His daughter has gone over 120 miles per hour in an electrothon racer at the Bonneville Salt Flats. And what is an electric cube? I don't know. But that was a pretty amazing pedal power float.
Wow. Well, listen, this upcoming float is called Made in America. It includes a herd of restored 1950s coin-operated horse rides. Oh dear, Piper can't see this. She's sitting over here watching. She's gonna want to go hop on it.
Oh, absolutely. And they're led by Roy Rogers Trigger and Gene Autry's champion, Bucky. And the bucking bronco is next, followed by the Rodeo Pony A, bygone slice of Americana.
All I got to tell you though, there's one at the Old Mill Country Store.
Yeah.
And all I heard yesterday when we were in there shopping was, "Can I have 50 cents? Can I have 50 cents?" And I said, "Honey, we're gonna go ride the rides." And I will say we lasted probably, I'm going to say, an hour in the kid ride section, and the next thing I knew, she was off with one of my friend's daughters, Jenny Thompson, riding the octopus and all the fast rides.
Oh, the big kid rides.
Yes, so apparently I've moved on. Now I won't be spending any more time over there. I'll be in the big kid rides from here on out.
So are you one of those moms that would prefer to be on the kid rides or the big kid rides?
Oh, no, I'm all for the big rides. But I just have realized that occasionally when you get older, you can't handle the spinning as long or as much. This is true.
So here's another politician. This is Matt Manueller. He's running for 13th District State Representative. He's riding a Segway that was donated by someone else. He's been using that all over the parades all over the state, so he doesn't have to wear out shoe leather. And so he's getting pretty good at riding that thing. He hasn't hardly crashed at all.
And he's got all ages of supporters here.
Yeah, he's got quite a flock of supporters, including the little ones. That's not bad. You can stand up on that thing and still shake hands. I'm impressed. And the 13th district covers Kittitas County and goes all the way over almost to the border heading east, because they changed the boundaries so much. And that's why we have Dave Reichert now running this district. We no longer have Doc Hastings anymore, and so we have to have a different senator kind of covering us. So
but
it's all changing.
We still follow all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now you see the trailer for Totino Enterprises, specializing in lawn and yard maintenance. The first #1 care service in Kittitas County in 2012. And when you want it done right, call Totino Enterprises. You grow it, they'll mow it. Yeah, some days I'm all for paying someone else to come mow my acre. That's why I put horses and cows on, to let them eat it down. It's a lot easier.
It's much easier.
Except Liz, she's my neighbor.
Yeah.
I can see her out there. Actually, we live side by side on the same street.
Yep. Here's the Nelson Fire Brigade from Lauderdale, Washington, coming through. I think they shined up a beautiful old fire truck. Engine number 18.
There were so many volunteer organizations here for the Taylor Fire. I don't know if the Nelson Fire Brigade was here, but I know we had people from all over. I know we had Gig Harbor was here. My son was pushing some animals down from the Reeser Creek area. They had about 40 heads. He was helping some people move it. Gig Harbor had to knock down a fire line so that they could push the animals through. Wow. And so I have a great support for and a lot of appreciation for the volunteer firefighters.
You know what just went by was Spurs Bar and Grill. Perfect for fundraisers, auctions, meetings, and weddings, specializing in steak and catering. Be sure to listen to KXLE for Spurs Weekly Entertainment and come on in. That sounds pretty good.
That does sound good. It does.
I'm always surprised. There's some really great restaurants here in Ellensburg.
There are.
And we always try and go out a couple times when we're in town and visiting.
Briefly, we saw the banner for Celerity Credit Union. They're a part of our community, been around here for a long time. And now we have the Yakima Sun Fair and Dollar. That's a good name. I like that one.
You know, it's
Oh, that
said
is
all
the-
along, we've been down here on University Way, and the sun's just starting to hit us here in the shade, and it feels really good. It's gonna be a nice day today.
It is going to be a great
Oh,
day.
I can't wait. Can't wait to see the rodeo. And they changed the setup a little bit. They start with one section of bulls right away at the beginning, and then they end with the bulls too, which is very cool.
Pretty exciting. Yeah, it was fun to do all of that.
So there we're
So
seeing the
there's the
Yakima
Yakima Sun Fair bug. Yeah, I saw the other car come through. Didn't read the side of it being Celerity, but it's kind of fun to have them here. The Sun Fair VW Buggy is promoting the Sun Fair Parade on September 22nd, 10 a.m. Central Washington State Fair is September 21 through 30. Come out and watch the parade and go to the fair. It's a pretty good looking little bug.
It is, and then right behind them is this little Juniper Ranch from Goldendale, Washington, and they have a cute little horse, two cute little horses, very cute little horses, there they are, and a buggy, and they've got a couple passengers in that little buggy. And then right behind that horse and buggy is, well, I guess it's the equivalent of a...
Well, I'm seeing the Rodeo City Equestrian, and the Rodeo City Equestrian group did a lot of work in getting things set up for the animal evacuation and a lot of support at the fairgrounds. They set up one of the numerous funds to gather, or sites to gather funding to help the fire victims.
And they are a nonprofit group here in Ellensburg dedicated to helping better the lives of horses. And here we have Jay Inslee.
Here's another politician, yeah, surprise. But Jay Inslee is running for the state government, and he's actually trying very hard to be our governor. So if you want Jay Inslee, look to see who your neighbors are that are walking in support, and see if you want to agree with them.
The Hutch County Democratic Party is with them as well.
Yeah, so.
And I think...
And this should be the Kittitas County Democrats. That's the whole Democrats, float. And I know quite a few of the ones that I work with at the county that is truly dedicated people that are there to do public service. And so there's quite a few of the folks that are spread out. It takes a lot of support from the various groups to get elected, and whether you're a party of this party or that party, I can truly tell you that when it gets down to the local level of doing the work, political affiliations pretty much get set aside. It's all about do the job, do it right, and do what's best for the most amount of people.
Coming up right behind us is Miss Reno Rodeo, Tara
Bowlby.
Bowlby.
That'd be Bowlby.
This is the first year that we've had Miss Reno Rodeo here, and she's the newly elected. She'll be 2013.
A lot of flowers on that horse.
That's right. And Fort Dalles Rodeo Queen Casey Davidson is also with her. Their rodeo was held July 19th, 20th, and 21st in the Dalles, Oregon. And she welcomes you all to come and join her. And we've got more.
Right there.
More royalty.
We have the Miss Jenny Tennant, Spokane Interstate Rodeo Queen, and her horse is Tess. This is one of the few people that actually told us what the name of her horse is. And which is surprising is now I think of it, because every horse owner I know is really big on, this is my horse, this is the name of my horse, this is where it comes from, this is how it's quirky, this is the horse that, this one will bite, this one won't, so they know their animals really, really well.
Well, I'm like that with my bulls. I have my two bulls. This is why I name them what I name them, and this is who they're out of, and yada, yada, yada.
See, and the last two steers I had on my pasture were named Prime and Rib.
The Prime and Rib. Mine should be named Buck and Buck Harder.
Okay. Buck and Buck off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be good.
I think this is one of the kind of cool things owning rough stock right now is that you can kind of give them their own personality and name them after whatever you want to name them after, That is very cool. So I named one after a swim team I used to swim for, and then I named one after my husband Brad because that's what he gave me for my 10th anniversary.
So where does that fit with the lineup if you never give your wife a household appliance for her birthday?
Well, see, here's what's funny. My dog, Miles, gives me the household appliances. He gave me a fabulous vacuum cleaner for Christmas,
Okay.
which I love.
Good thinking dog there.
But I did have the choice. I had the choice of jewelry or bowls, and I chose the bowls. And they're out of Justin McKee's ranch. They
good.
were born and bred at Justin McKee's ranch in Lempaw, Oklahoma. And now they're down with a trainer down in East Texas, which if you've never been to East Texas, I know it kind of gets a bad rap, but I had a fabulous time there. I was down there for a couple days. So.
Now this is a horse in memory of Noel Barbarossa, and that horse comes along, gives you a little bow and a thank you, and that's a well-trained horse because I'm pretty sure they don't do that naturally.
Nope, they don't. It takes a lot of work.
But I think it's pretty nice for those folks that have lost family members to be able to be in the parade, to put a memorial and draw attention and say thank you to those people that have been a part of us for so long.
Guess what? We're coming towards the end.
We're coming. Oh, we're not going to give up that quick.
No, but we just had the KIMA Channel 4 Action News Channel 4. KIMA.
And we should have at the end. Here we are on the last float. Is the Ellensburg Grid Kids. Now this is the beginning football squad. And so you got the little ones that they're just learning. I have a family friend, his name is Cody, and he's doing Grid Kids first time this year, and he's getting it, right? He knows the stance, he knows without the stance, nothing else works right. Now we're being joined.
We are.
There we go.
All right. Can you say hi, Piper? Hey, man, say hi.
This is Piper.
This is Piper's 7th year here in the parade.
Wow.
Piper has been in the parade since she was so small she couldn't even wave.
Yep. She knew what to do.
Yeah.
Did you ride in the parade today? And who did you ride?
That's right. There they are. The Grid Kids are the dogs doing the wolf call.
There you go.
It's fun to have them here.
So, hey, Piper, look at the camera and tell everybody what float you rode on today. Who did you ride with? Who drove your truck? Grandpa.
Grandpa drove the truck.
Well, listen, it has been a pleasure to once again get to spend a few hours sitting down with Liz Shenier and Obi O'Brien. And I'm so happy, Piper, that you came over to join us once again. We'll get you squared away on the camera someday.
And again, thank you all for joining us here at the 2012 Ellensburg Parade. Remember to get on down to the fair and the rodeo. Enjoy all of what Kittitas County has to offer, and meet with your friends and neighbors, hang out, enjoy the time. Next week, school starts, people start running full speed forward. So kind of your last chance to get out and just enjoy each other.
That's right.
And say thank you to each other for all the support, for the Taylor Ridge Fire, for all of the volunteers, all of the hard work and all the things that are going on. And remember to pray for your neighbors.
Right.
The 61 structures were lost and we still need to support them. So thank you very much.
Look at this.
And I appreciate
What do
it.
you see, Liz?
Oh, you're getting it.
You're the rodeo queen.
Yay. I love it. It's all good. All right.
Oh, goodness.
And
And you know what?
Thank you so very
Congratulations to the Ellensburg Bulldogs yesterday for opening up the season with a big win.
All right, there we go. That's good. So thank you again for having me. So it was wonderful.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. And we've enjoyed our time. We hope that we've brought a little bit of fun to your morning. And we hope that if you're getting ready, you can start heading down to the rodeo.
Better. And if we miss you at the rodeo, maybe we'll catch you at the Yellow Church Cafe.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
right.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Oh my gosh, you too. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful day. I know.
It's really nice the wind stopped blowing now.
Yeah.
It'll pick up though. Won't be too